Okay. Thank you, Lola.
Letting us know.
Recording, actual audio. 1, 2, 3,
Oh
go.
shit! Hold on.
Okay.
Yep.
My program quit. I have to restart.
Okay, you do it this week. Tim did it last week. It means I got to do it next week. Right?
Nice. All right, I am back and ready to go.
We count to 3.
Yeah.
Uno, dos, tres.
All right, there we go.
Yeehaw.
Ready, set, go.
Yo, check. Blah, blah, blah.
Yo,
All right.
yo, check, blah, blah, blah.
Hell yeah, it's catchy, isn't it?
Blah, 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 yakety schmackety.
Welcome back to another episode of B&B Banter Bros Goes to the Movies. With me is Aram Benyon and Jason Chandler, and tonight is kind of a special episode for us.
Yeah.
Because this accounts for our 100th episode. And if we were a sitcom, it would be a very, very, very big thing. We would have to get a giant cake, bunch of cake.
We'd have a live studio audience.
Yep. That we would put a laugh track on.
Yeah.
Suffocate in a room full of balloons.
Yeah,
Too many balloons.
It is our 100th episode. So before we dive into our film of tonight, we were going to talk about pretty much what the podcast has done and the progression and stuff and what it means to us since we started this thing 3 years ago.
And we're still the only ones listening. Hell yeah.
So, Aram, you and I started this 3 years ago during COVID.
Yeah, right when COVID first started, really.
Yep. It was basically a way of us to hang out, force ourselves to hang out.
Yeah, it was based on the premise that you and I could talk forever about random subjects, and we quickly figured out that we got lost way too easily and ended up on like too many tangents after our 3-hour inaugural episode.
Yeah, our first season was very long.
Long-winded. Yeah, every episode was probably like 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
If not, like at least an hour and a half, if not more.
Yeah,
we scales it with the free time of the lockdown and all that shit.
Yeah, right.
Too much free time.
We would consistently go on to different topics too. It was like that's our tangent. That's what we do. We'd bounce around from one thing to one thing and maybe go back, maybe not. I mean, we were all over the place. So that was one of the things
bros, that banter.
Yep, and that's where one of the things that we thought about when we were coming up with a name is, B&B Banter Bros. So it's Bennett and Banyan.
Yeah,
and then that's what we do. We just banter.
Yeah, it's
been our relationship since we've known each other for the past 10 years.
It's a conversation that generally doesn't have any sort of like real root. Like we never really make it to whatever specific spot we were going to, but we take some side trips.
Right.
It's really what it is.
A lot of our conversation has been a spark of, I'm interested in this at the moment. I want to talk about it. So we're very impulsive about that. We're very
we're very much in the now in that respect.
Yep.
Like
those are the fun conversations I like to have because they're not serious and you're just, I don't know,
there's no
passing
agenda.
time, having fun. And there's no agenda.
Yeah.
It's my favorite small talk, movie buff terminology.
The end of the conversation ends up being, oh shit, we just wasted 3 hours.
Right. Yeah. And Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Well, and we also didn't have a premise of what we wanted to talk about, like directly.
Yeah.
So we were
Yeah.
still trying to figure out our niche, like, what are we gonna do? And we just had the three bases that we liked was books, music, and movies. So
Yeah.
figured
We tried to
we'll
get a
start
little,
that.
I think there was a couple episodes where we got a little existential or a little philosophical, but
I think so too.
yeah, we mostly stayed within those parameters. And all right, here we go.
But yeah, and we went up to 30 episodes. We just figured that, the year was about to start. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
It
kind of
just
our first season.
made the most sense to just cut it at that point.
Yeah. I will say that one of my favorite parts about the first season was our like trying new music and then talking about the
Yeah.
books. I liked our little Banter Bro book club.
Yeah. And people really responded to that actually from what we saw. Like that was probably some of our most popular shit was the book episodes.
It was, yeah, our literature one and stuff like that. I think it's still like
Nobody
our
gave a
first
shit about
episode,
what music we were listening to, but
right? Our first episode, and
Those are the
our
ones I
literature
listened to. I didn't care about the book ones. I don't
You
know
just
if I
don't know
do
how
or
to
not. I
read.
didn't click on them. See these glasses? It appears I do. But
it
you'll
appears
never
your
know.
son does because you stole them from him.
Oh,
Well, these are his old ones. I'm just borrowing them.
How long have you had them?
I'm not too embarrassing to admit.
I
Come
think
on
it
now.
stopped being borrowing at some point.
I did go to the eyeglass place last week, and they were fucking closed due to a family event. Ha ha ha! That is just dumb. My procrastination, and then it just can't even.
Just defeated by your own laziness.
But I did smile, and I was like, "Sweet, I don't have to do that now." Even though it would have taken like fucking 20 minutes.
Right.
hey, let's be real though. He did probably pay for the glasses, so they're his anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
technically.
absolutely. Yeah, but that's less funny. So shut up, Tim. And Elden Ring.
Aram, first season.
Yeah.
What did you like the most about our first season?
Oh man. Shit. I mean, I think I don't know, just fuck. What am I trying to say? Trying to figure it out, I think was the best part. Like trying to see, because we were just trying different shit and like seeing what stuck. And it was interesting to see who reacted to what and what we really got into.
Yeah.
Those were both really interesting to me. I mean, I
especially
think that's
for trying-
probably
like this was all new to us, so
yeah.
like none of us have done a podcast or even done much with microphones or any of that stuff. So.
Oh, right. And yeah, I think stuff like when we decided to listen to albums that we just picked random albums to listen to. We ended up with like Billie Eilish, and then what was it?
The
Coconut
Beatles.
The Beatles was one, and then it was a Coconut Dracula or something like that. No, that was the name of the
Vampire
song.
Weekend.
Vampire Weekend. And we couldn't fucking handle that, so that's how we ended up with Billie Eilish. We just were like, we can't fucking handle that.
Nope. I listened to the first song in the Vampire Weekend album, and I was like, oh god. Oh
yeah, that was about as far as I got, and I was like, oof, we're gonna have to try something different. And the Billie Eilish album ended up, I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea, but I was able to like glean some meaning from it and, respect for what she does.
Yeah, we learned a lot about her as an artist and as a person, and a complete 180 of how I felt before diving into her.
Like, I don't think she's complete trash.
her,
I mean, she's
didn't
not
know
my
anything about
style,
her.
but like, yeah.
Yep. I had a lot more appreciation.
Same thing happened with the Beatles. Like I'm not a Beatles guy, but like I grew to appreciate more what they did. I can't remember what album we listened to now, but I think it was Abbey Road.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just actually sitting and listening to each song. It was kind of a learning experience. Still not my cup of tea, but like I can respect it to a different level now.
That was the goal though, too. So we accomplished our goal to broaden our horizons. So
yeah. We've long since gotten away from that premise of broadening our horizons and gotten into something much more interesting to us. And
yeah, a little more passionate, I think.
Yeah,
we get a little bit more drive into talking about films.
It's hard to get into stuff that when you're trying to broaden your horizons. Like you can be into it, but you can't get passionate about it until you already know about it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, and that's a different show. I mean, who knows? We may do that at some point anyway, but that's
bonus content.
Yeah, eventually that'll become bonus content. Us trying different things.
Yeah, if we ever get Patreon subscribers.
Oh yeah, let's not. But I dream of the day we could do this all day. There'd be a lot of variety and
right.
Oh yeah,
to the B&B Banter Bro
I'd make this
logo.
100%
for sure.
Every day I'd wake up going podcast day. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
So Jason, you didn't come on until like what, episode 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah, episode 6 or 7.
2.
Yeah. And but I did listen to a lot of the first season.
Where was I? I can't remember what happened to me. But I had been out for a while.
I think you just.
Oh, you just got sick.
Yeah, you were sick for
like
a
whole
week.
It was like before. Wait, I don't know. I don't think it was COVID times, but you just got a cold.
For like a whole week, and then I think you had something else that happened. So.
That explains it.
Yeah, Jason, what made you want to join our podcast?
Well, talking about movies at work with you was like a natural thing, and that happened like right away. Like I don't know, sooner than it should have. It just felt like we've been talking about movies forever. And then you of course told me you had a podcast, and I was like, fuck, of course you do. Everybody has one. So of course I worked with somebody that has a podcast. But then it's just a joke, but I was always trying to start a podcast about something, music, movies, with people I make music with and other friends, and it was always a drunken talking idea, but never put to fruition. So it's something I wanted to do, but then I listened to the first season, a lot of it, and just the way I learned the type of guys you guys were, and you sounded pretty my kind of guys. And then the podcast was very undergroundish, but it sounded legit, and I don't know. And then Tim asked me to fucking be a guest to fill in, so he can keep the episodes flowing without a break.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I got a lot of compliments from my friends on that first interview episode, and I don't know.
Jason Chandler.
Yeah.
Who is he?
And I don't know.
Seriously, who is this
guy? It felt good.
Yeah,
and then Tim kept asking me back, and here I am.
That's true.
Well, I was gone for a while, so he needed someone to fill the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then working together, of course, we just fucking brainstormed too many damn ideas. So
yeah,
and we still do.
Yeah.
I will say that your first episode was like you were nervous.
Oh yeah,
obviously, but it was like a good episode. Like for your first time, and like you had that knack of like already, you were already kind of able to talk into the microphone and stuff like that, and your music and stuff like that. So for you, it was like I don't know, you kind of went into that kind of performance mode, as I'd call it, I think, and it really helped you.
Yeah,
you can't use a microphone and not perform a little bit, otherwise it's I don't know, it's just not good audio. It's not entertaining at all, and I'm not saying I'm entertaining, but
and that was also season 2 is where we switched from just random shit to a particular topic, which was films.
Yeah,
we decided that we were just going to start talking about films and like directors and
you started season 2 with interviews of each other, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys got
films.
Oh yeah.
It was what we like about movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So then Tim thought
with films.
Tim saw it to make sense for my first episode to be a similar interview episode, or to the first 2 on season 2.
Yeah,
to introduce me or whatever.
And we were still taking that kind of idea about what we were doing with the random music and stuff like that, and learning about them and whatever. We kind of took that idea and we put it into season 2 as like about films, like the actors or directors or whatever. Because our like first episode was John Hughes. We talked about John
Yeah.
Hughes, and we learned so much about John Hughes.
Yeah, that
Like we
was
watched a handful of their movies or his movies, and kind of did some research and stuff like that, and learned a lot. And that was kind of like something that interested us as well. Was we were learning something, applying what we learned into the topic or to the discussion, and still able to kind of geek out about the films that we did, that we did know and that we loved
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah. And as a listener, I learned that Timothy Bennett hates Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I was cracking up laughing when I was listening to that shit. I remember, I don't know, it was just
I had a
like,
small
what the
crush.
fuck? Because you have
I had a small crush on her. It is what it is.
she was on the
She's
Rob
a
Lowe
redhead, that's why.
podcast.
Was she?
And she's like a writer. Fucking, I don't know. It was a good episode. I liked the way she
keeps busy.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's still
Seems
working.
like a tough lady, smart lady.
She was the mom on The Secret Life of an American Teenager last time I saw.
Oh
She's
yeah,
still getting jobs. She's still working. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's not a bad actress. I don't know why you don't like her.
Well, let's not get carried away with that. Or
Well,
maybe
I just didn't like her back then.
You didn't like her in the Brat Pack?
I thought she was
Fair
she had that
enough.
princess mentality. I
people
just,
change
like,
after that
Well,
many
yeah,
years.
that's what she was supposed to. I mean, didn't you watch The Breakfast Club?
but she like was that person. It wasn't
Yeah.
acting, it was who she was. That's
True
how
enough.
I felt. So I just didn't like it.
Are any of you, by
Uh,
the way, dreading when they remake The Breakfast Club? Because you know
Why?
it's going to happen.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So
it's not like a thing yet. But I
Okay,
mean,
I was like,
I'm watching the landscape, and I know it's coming.
oh
And
my
I
god.
know a number of
I feel
those
like
John
they've
Hughes
already
movies
done
are
it
going
in
to.
some shape or form.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I'm waiting for
I know what you
the
mean.
new version of I'm waiting for Miles Teller and somebody else to be in The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, so they can have all these million identities, people,
Oh yeah.
and fill up the whole classroom, not just fucking 6 desks.
It'll
Yeah,
probably
The Breakfast Club these days is going to be a lot weirder.
it'll probably
It's going to be a lot
Uh,
harder to do without pissing somebody
It's
off.
just going to be everybody on their phones thumbing it up.
yeah.
Social media.
They're in detention, but is even detention a thing anymore?
They'll bring
Probably
back
not.
silent films at the same time. Just text
Oh,
message
jeez.
on it.
Shit, yeah. Oh yeah, you'll just get text messages of the actual dialogue
Mhm.
instead of having to read it on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Aram, what was
Yo.
your favorite thing about season 2?
Oof. Trying to remember who was my favorite, because I mean I really enjoyed doing the John Hughes one, and I feel like we did a couple other ones. Like we did John Carpenter.
Did you guys do Palm Springs? Is that the Andy
Yeah,
Samberg?
Palm Springs we did.
On
That was a
season
good
2,
movie.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that-
I'm almost positive that's season 2.
Yeah, that was one of my
I think- I don't
episodes
know.
I clicked with.
I think that might have been a filler episode between directors
I
when
don't
we were
think it
still
was
trying to
season
do.
2. I think that was
You think so?
first season, yeah. Because we were doing our
Okay.
trailers.
Hmm.
We were talking about the trailers that we thought the upcoming films. So I think that was our
Oh yeah.
our first season.
Oh yeah, because didn't we watched Palm Springs and a couple other
The
movies on Hulu?
Changeland and
Yep, which was really good. Then we did that one
Something
with Jack
else.
Quaid.
Oh,
And
yeah, which was
which
terrible.
is yeah,
He was such a whiny bitch.
I complained about him being a bitch the whole time, and then I just verbatim read the movie. That was a terrible episode because we didn't know what we were doing, so I just dialogued the whole movie for everybody, so you didn't have to watch it.
The movie, I don't know, read by Aaron.
Pretty
I'm
much.
pretty sure that was our first season. That was towards the end.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Palm Springs was a better episode because we didn't do that. We didn't just fucking do the whole movie just
Right.
verbatim.
Yeah, it was just a quick this movie popped out of nowhere for me on Hulu. I just
Yeah.
agreed with everything you guys were saying because exact same shit happened to me, and I felt the same way about the movie and the whole time loop, and it was hilarious. And yeah,
Right.
so I
Yeah,
connected
for sure.
with that one. But yeah, the John Hughes and the John Carpenter. That's
I think Mortal Kombat was probably another favorite, at least the trailer episode.
yeah,
Because we geeked out for like an hour and a half about a fucking trailer. And I think that was
We
just
had
fun.
a whole episode.
Yeah, there's a whole episode on a
Full
trailer, and I think
episode.
that was just really fun. So John Hughes and that were probably my two favorites, just because of the most memorable parts of season 2 for me.
Okay. I think for me it was
Just me-
us reforming the season. Like we
Yeah.
found a niche that we were actually kind of following and we were actually getting into it. I also like that we were making it more of an effort to establish ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think that for us it was that commitment that we were really applying in this season 2. Like we wanted to
Well,
make sure we had an episode coming out every week. We were really
For
trying to
sure.
put in the work. And I think for
And we've still managed that. We've had an episode every week,
yeah, at
haven't
least
we?
at
I don't
least
think we.
I think we missed one or something like that. But
No,
either way, yeah, it's one of those where
we've been diligent.
yeah,
but
I
yeah,
think that
season
putting in the
one,
work is
season,
what I enjoyed about the season 2.
but yeah, season one, it seemed like you guys were just fucking around, and then you found out you liked it, and then season two, you were like, hey, let's if we're gonna keep this going,
Yeah.
let's try to take it more serious in some way,
Yep.
shape, or form.
For sure.
Hell
Yeah, and that's what happened. So
yeah.
I really like that. I liked how it was forming. So
The
So
He-Man
yeah,
episodes were
listeners,
another.
don't bother watching season one until you get to know Tim
I was like,
and Aram very
unless you got
well,
time to spare.
Yeah.
Like,
and you find out you relate to the way they think and talk, then go
Yeah.
back and listen to a 4-hour episode in season
sure,
one.
no shit.
and that's why I'm not trying to put all of those onto YouTube right now because of
Yeah.
that reason.
Oh, that
More of like the second
load
season I'm
time.
trying to pump up on the YouTube, but
Yeah, for sure.
I'll get to the first seasons at some point in our life. Jason, what did you like about coming on board during the season 2? You had already listened to us a little bit, so like you wanted to come on and see it, but from your introduction to the progression throughout the rest of the season 2, how did you feel about it?
Um, nervous and excited. It's always something I wanted to do, but like I don't know. I'm a introvert and talking and I don't know, sharing my thoughts. And I was new. It was new. I was meeting you guys at the same time. So like I got to know you behind a microphone and recording, basically, especially
Yeah.
Aram. So I was just nervous and excited. And
You know
I
what's
was having fun, even if I did bad.
You know what's fucked up is I think at some point when we first started like doing the show, you and I realized we'd worked together before because we worked at Fridays together, and we didn't fucking remember each other from there.
Yeah.
My tenure wasn't very long there, so I mean that's probably part of it. But
Yeah. If it's a short stint, and you know how many employees
yeah, for
recycle
sure.
through any restaurant. Yeah, it's hard to remember. And yeah, it's been that long. I'm sure we don't look the same.
It's kind of like
No.
just
Remember you
before
being
I started
skinnier.
working at Chipotle,
Oh.
Aaron was working there.
Yeah,
We had like there's a small window at least where we had
like there was
he
like
had left and
maybe
then I came in.
it was maybe a month, if that.
I actually think it was a couple weeks. I feel like
Yeah.
because I think when I came in for the application or like to fill out the application, I think you were working, and then 3 weeks later, they went through all the process of the job, the 3 interviews, and
Yeah.
then I started working and stuff. But
Yeah,
I
I
got the
didn't.
job because I knew somebody who was managing the Elk River one, and she put in a good word. So I got the job no matter what. But
You always got to know someone.
Yep, they obviously made me go through
Yeah.
the process of everything.
Yeah.
That and Colleen, I guess, had a crush on me. She thought I was hot.
Oh, Colleen. I remember the name. I don't remember what she looked like anymore.
She was
but
one of the
Shout out to
managers.
Colleen. Just kidding.
Because that was when Rachel was GMing.
oh, see, Jeff was the name of the GM when I was there.
And-
Whoa.
Yep, and he had just left,
Yep.
and then Rachel had popped on, and then that's when I started working. Was like a
That's
couple weeks
right.
after that. So yeah, it was
All
a
right.
short window.
This is
anyway, we're
shop
not
talk
talking about that. Um,
from many,
Just
many
a-
restaurants ago.
Just
Small
12 degrees
town.
of separate. It's 12 degrees of separation restaurant edition is what it
Yes.
is.
Nice.
Uh,
All right.
what do you think our biggest accomplishment was through the first 2 seasons?
Oh man, I gotta
Hmm.
believe that it's just the areas we've reached. Because I mean, we've looked at the demographic, like or the where our podcast has been downloaded and where we've been listened to, and like we're all over the world. And I think
Yeah.
that's really, I mean, we don't have a ton of listeners, but I think it's really cool that like we have people in every continent except Antarctica, because why the fuck would a penguin listen to us? But like, the fact that we have people in Asia, people in Europe, people in South America, people in Canada. Like we're literally like we're all over the map. Like you can find people that have listened to us. I think
Holy
that's really
shit.
cool.
Aaron, I'm nervous again. That's a lot of people.
What's crazy was there's a one guy in Germany who downloaded 50 episodes in one
Yeah,
day.
he got really
It's
into
like,
our stuff, and
damn.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that, but
Right, yeah. It's just all of a sudden
You
it's like,
gotta
damn,
start
just one
somewhere.
person.
you think about the last time Germany got really into something, it didn't work out well for a lot of people.
uh so now we're in season 3. We're
Yeah,
18 episodes into season 3. It's been a hell of a year for season 2, but
yeah,
this is a new kind of format. Now we decided that we were going to dive into the Marvel world.
yeah. And
And
we didn't initially plan to do Marvel solely. Like we were going to do something different and just kind of touch base on Marvel because it was so big. But we found so much to talk about in every
yeah,
movie that it makes the most sense to just sit and dissect the Marvel movies the best that we can.
yeah,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
I've been having a lot more fun than I anticipated I would. When we
Yeah.
had this idea, watching the movies and then getting together with you guys talking about them, and
I,
then this whole like watching them week to week, the whole close.
I feel
Yeah.
like the conversation has been a lot more lively
Mm-hmm.
doing these movies than it was for almost anything else we've done like in the last year. Like,
Yeah, I
not that
can
we
agree
didn't
with
have
that.
good conversations, but these seem more
Overall,
passionate and
though,
like, yeah, overall, I think we're more
yeah,
passionate.
we're a little more consistent
We're
with
able,
it.
yeah, more consistent. We've able to find more stuff to like talk about. We're more like into it.
Yeah,
I think
and
these are just the best conversations we've had in a while when it comes to the movies.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
hell
I think
yeah, I
that's
think
what's
one of our biggest accomplishments for the podcast is we've found a flow with each
yeah,
other. For three
Sure,
people not to talk over each other, or when we do, it's for like a
a
comedic
hot
purpose
second. Yeah,
or a good time purpose or something.
yeah.
yeah,
But it's
Or
I don't know. So I enjoyed finding the flow.
I think that's something about this podcast, which I know that I'm consistently like thinking of, and I know Aaron, you struggled a little bit with it, uh, and Jason, I think you just kind of went with it, with whatever happened. Is that
Yeah.
ever ending consistently trying to like get better or find
mhm,
something better or like keep relevant or changing or all that stuff, like not trying to just stay in one spot and always
sure,
trying to be better, make more entertaining
yeah,
podcast or something. And I think that with this new season we found our thing, we found
yeah,
our niche. Like we were still trying to figure out our shit in season 2, and we got further and further and further. The progression was fantastic. We really did come a long way from season 1 to now.
Yeah.
And now that we're in season 3, yeah, we've just established what we were or what we are now. And the great
yeah,
thing about it is it's podcast security.
right.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, we're good.
We've got like 5 years that we can have this podcast running on for just Marvel films.
Yeah, and we got easy clickbait too. A fucking Marvel
Mm,
movie name title.
right?
True. Yeah, yeah, that's
So,
legit.
well, gentlemen, I will say it's been a fun, good couple years.
Hell yeah,
So,
Yeah, I
and
look forward to more.
absolutely.
and
And
many
I will
more.
say a part of me also really likes the business
Well,
side of it, like the marketing, or you know what I mean? Coming up with new ideas of how to
you
like promote us and shit like that.
yeah. Uh for the listeners, Tim is the guy that writes all the words on all the fucking link descriptions or whatever. And does all the social media shit. And he would do more if he had more time. But yeah, I
Right.
can tell you enjoy it. But yeah, it's a little stressful because you're squeezing it in between responsibilities. You see
Yep.
them in the background.
In between work, family,
Yeah,
housework, chores,
many
all the bazillion
plates.
things. I also like making the icons. I enjoy doing the photos.
Even the little things.
you know,
Hell yeah.
but all right. Well, that's been our 100th episode discussion.
Yeah,
And here's to 100 more.
hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cheers to
Peace.
that.
Biatch.
All right. Now let's get into the the movie of discussion. So tonight we're going to be talking about Marvel's Spider-Man Homecoming. So we got to
Coming.
see
Homecoming. That's not a word.
Homecoming.
It's homecoming. I can't unsay it now.
What the fuck just
Homecoming.
happened, Tim?
Oh,
What did you
Tim
do?
was drinking at the homecoming dance.
Had a
Spike
fucking-
punch.
Had a stroke halfway through that sentence.
Oh
Homecoming.
yeah. That's all right.
So this isn't our first time seeing the Spider-Man, but this is his first solo film.
Actually, this might be the 100th time we've seen a new Spider-Man.
Yeah, but this
They're
is the
just-
first time we've seen this Spider-Man, is what he said.
I
This
know.
Spider-
Oh, I'm just
this
saying there was so many Spider-Mans before this one.
Yeah, we had Sam Raimi's 3
Yeah.
trilogy, Tobey Maguire and James Franco.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
had
I don't know who did the
Sony's
Andrew
version,
Garfield one.
which was Andrew Garfield,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
then we have this one, which is
Yep.
so much better.
Oh yes.
So let's get into it. Aram, you want to read us
Yeah, let's do it.
the details?
Spider-Man Homecoming was released in 2017. It runs for 2 hours and 13 minutes. Is directed by John Watts, who's, I know the name, but I don't know much else that he's done. It's written by Jonathan Goldstein and then John Francis Daly. Again, I know that name and I don't
Ooh.
know from where.
Apparently, those two names are like showrunner type. This movie had a lot of writers. It's like the numbers
it's-
similar to the amount as the cast. Like,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, but
So it definitely says
those two
and
names.
others.
Yeah, because those two guys are just the head writers of two different teams. So yeah,
So it's
the director, John Watts.
yeah.
Aram, you might know this, but Clown, the movie.
Oh, word.
Clown,
Okay.
it's the horror film with
Yeah.
Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that movie.
He-
Yep.
Yep, he directed that.
Okay.
He also directed a movie called Cop Car with Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah, that's on Netflix. I just saw an ad for that the other day.
And then he directed the second film, a Spider-Man film.
Oh, cool.
Oh, he directed. No, he was a part of. So yeah, he directed the. Oh no, he did direct all 3. Damn, he got
All
lucky.
right, cool.
He directed
that's
all 3 of
helpful.
the Spider-Man.
well,
movies.
no, he didn't get lucky. He killed it on the first one. He deserved
He
to
did.
do the next
He did.
two.
He did. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We can go into that. But yeah, those. So basically, those are the only 2 things that he did before the Spider-Man that were
Interesting.
real relevant
Wow.
of any sort.
And he got Spider-Man off of those too, huh?
Yeah, right.
Shit.
'Cause otherwise, he did some like music videos stuff. Like he did a Fat Boy Slim video. He did a couple of those.
And at the time,
had
we have to remember that it's Sony Studios that made
Yeah.
this movie, not
it's true.
Disney and stuff like that. So
We also
Sorry.
had another Marvel movie that was directed by someone who'd really done a lot of music videos, but not much else. Or I remember us discussing another movie where the director really had only done a lot of music videos and like 1 or 2 other things. And I don't remember what it is now. I feel like
Well,
it was a different
alright.
Marvel movie. But
leave a comment in the comment section so
Yeah,
let
for
Aaron
sure.
know
Unless you're
who
thinking
the
about
fuck he's
Doctor
talking about.
Strange guy.
maybe
Uh,
that's
He
it.
did
No.
horror stuff. He did a bunch of horror stuff. Not-
No, I feel like this guy had only done
I
a
know
few
what
things,
Aaron's
but a
trying to
bunch of
think
music
of, but I can't.
videos.
I don't know.
I can't
Yeah.
remember either.
Anyway.
So score wise, it got 51. Sorry, they got a 73 at Metascore, and IMDb gave it a 7.4 out of 10.
Hmm.
As
Do you feel
far
like
as
that's appropriate?
I'd go like 8.5.
I'd go a little higher, personally.
Maybe even a
speaking.
9, especially when it first came out. I loved it.
You wonder if, because this is all a matter of like users and whatnot, I think half of these are haters that like the Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield one better.
Yeah.
Um,
These things aren't set in stone. They change throughout the years.
yeah,
that-
because I mean,
Okay.
like, there's like a 631,000
suppose-
underneath that IMDb score.
I
Yeah.
guess
So,
I
I
never thought
mean-
of it that way, that they would change. throughout the
According to
years.
vote, yeah, throughout
Yeah, I guess I
because
never
the
thought of it
vote's
that way.
always ongoing. I guess it's a.
I guess we'll have to go back and see what
I didn't-
the
And
The
you
other
know,
ones
Far
were
From Home could have had an
favorite.
influx of Toby and Andrew fans that came up and just said, "Fuck this movie."
100%.
So as far as cast goes, we have Tom Holland as Peter Parker or Spider-Man.
Which he has been in other things prior to this too,
Yeah, he was
like big films.
Yeah, I can't remember what else he'd
Really?
done.
He was
but
in the
like,
Heart of the Sea, which
Okay.
is the Moby Dick one.
Okay.
Oh,
With,
Nerd.
Chris Hemsworth.
Whatever. I'm
he
gonna write
was-
that down.
You've never seen it? Oh,
I don't
No,
think
it,
I've seen-
it-
I've never
as
seen
I
it
write
either.
it down, I remember you've already told me this, and I've written it down before. Fuck.
He's just got
Probably.
notes like everywhere with like names of movies on them
Like,
that he just doesn't
This
remember.
is like the uncool deja vu that just happened to me.
I'm pretty sure that it was a Ron Howard film too. But I'm
Oh,
not
really?
damn.
Interesting.
I definitely need to watch that then.
Yeah, Ron Howard. He did it.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
I'm sold.
But he did, yeah. So he did that before he was Spider-Man. So and then he did Civil War. Other than that, he was in Billy Elliot. That was like his big.
Who was he in Billy Elliot? Because I remember that movie.
Billy
It-
Elliot.
It's a
think this
movie
was
about a little boy in
Broadway.
like an Irish
I think-
town.
I
Oh,
think this is
okay.
a Broadway one. That was what he
That
was
would make
known
some
for.
sense then. Okay, because I remember seeing Billy Elliot way back. I think I was in high school when I saw that movie.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
basically
know.
about an Irish kid in a coal mining town that wants to do ballet and having to like face the fact that his family isn't really supportive of it and whatnot, but they are.
Yeah,
Look it
this
up.
is a live Broadway.
It's a family drama about like the Irish and how everyone has this preconception that they're set in their ways and blah 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 blah.
Blah.
It's
Oh, he
good,
did,
but it's
Lost City of Z. With,
with Charlie Hunnam.
Yep, he was in that.
Oh, I never watched that one. Is that...
Pilgrimage.
Okay,
So anyway, that's what he did before
Yeah.
this film.
interesting.
He's,
Okay,
Obviously in Civil War as Spider-Man in 2016. So
yeah,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
kid's
so
not a
he's
bad
supposed to be-
actor. He's got experience. You can tell.
yeah, he can
At
act his
least I
ass
did.
off. I mean, because he's British,
He's
and
he's all right. He can, but he's a great Spider-Man. But back to the cast.
So we have as the villain of the movie, Adrian Toomes or Vulture is played by Michael Keaton,
Yay!
which he was phenomenal.
phenomenal.
So great.
We'll talk about his character when we get talking about the movie. We have Aunt May being played by Marissa Tomei, which is kind of
It's
odd
okay.
because
She makes it work in a
she
more
does, but
modern
Aunt May,
version.
yeah, but Aunt May's always been pictured as like even the comics, like she's always an old woman.
Old lady.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like she
They
makes
make
it work in
changes
a more modern
Yeah,
way.
I mean, I guess I can't hate because I mean they changed MJ around too.
yeah,
so.
that's what I was gonna say. They
Well, they
made
changed Peter Parker and Spider-Man around too.
yeah.
True enough.
Like this is like the ultimate Spider-Man version, and all the
Yeah.
other ones I don't know. It's
They,
just whatever.
it was playground shit.
Playground.
Robert Downey Jr. Reprises his role as Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
hilarious.
Favreau.
John Favreau is in as Happy Hogan. Again, we have Zendaya or Zendaya. It's
Zendaya.
one of those
Whatever.
two ways.
Yeah.
She's in as MJ or Michelle, as she's referred to as in 90% of this movie.
She's only MJ to her friends.
She's only
Right, and it's
MJ
just-
at the end of the movie.
Yeah, to her
Sorry.
friends.
Oh, she doesn't
Gwyn-
have any friends, but now she does. Sorry.
Gwyneth Paltrow is in this movie as Pepper Potts for about 2 minutes.
Also at the end.
Yep. Donald Glover makes a cameo appearance as a low-level thug
Whoa.
named Aaron Davis.
Which is the uncle of
Miles. Yep, Miles from the multiverse, whatever.
Yeah,
Miles Morales. Is that what we're saying?
There you go.
Yes. I was hoping
Okay.
you would finish my sentence earlier.
I was gonna make you say Miles Teller, but
There's one special
I was gonna say
guy
Maury Borealis.
that the more I looked at him in this movie reminds me of Jason in certain angles.
Who?
Martin Starr.
Oh yeah, the coach. Yeah.
Finally, Tim gave me a compliment on this goddamn podcast. There's your 100th. There's my 100th episode
If you were to
present.
just like, if you were to get the same haircut, and then if you were to like,
Lucy
Color.
Liu.
the
Color the
color
beard?
gray,
Yeah.
and maybe
Oh,
get
just
some-
talk more like matter of factly. I just think you're a piece of shit. I don't know. That's my
Maybe.
Martin Starr.
maybe.
He's always got that monotone, deadpan delivery. And
He's kind of like the new.
I've loved him since
Stephen
Freaks
Wright.
and Geek.
Yep, Freaks and Geeks.
I've
Yeah.
loved him in everything. So
And this is not
I
the
was
first
happy
time
to
that we've talked about this guy on the podcast.
right.
Oh,
No,
he pops up everywhere.
he's
Everywhere.
great. You can tell
Even
he's one of
Kaylee.
us. He's a
Kaylee's
nerd.
a
That's why
fan
he's
of
in
him.
this movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. Kaylee's a fan of him. So probably from Freaks and Geeks.
Probably.
Hell
Wrap
yeah.
up the cast. The other people of note that are in this movie, at least three of them make very small appearances, but they're in there. Bokeem Woodbine is in it.
Yep.
He's the guy that takes the shocker glove from the original one.
Did you recognize the original Shocker guy?
He looked familiar, but I couldn't place him.
Yeah.
So
I kept
he was
wanting
in
to say
that-
he was
like a-
somebody else.
action movie guy, right?
He played in Prometheus as
Yep.
the captain that leads the people to the lead archaeologist guy, leads the people
Okay.
to the planet. He was also in the OC as the brother of Ben McKenzie or whatever his name is. He was in that Upgrade, the movie Upgrade, where he's
Fuck.
like a cyborg guy or whatever, and it's like a comedy action film. No, not ringing a bell?
You've lost me on all those.
Upgrade. I've heard
Yeah.
about it. I keep forgetting to watch it. It sounds like a
Yep.
great time.
Are you talking about
like a
movie, or
crank
are you
type
talking
of
about
movie?
Movie.
I'm
Like the
thinking of
movie-
Upload. That's why I keep getting confused.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the
no,
series,
not the
right?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard of Upgrade. I'll have to take a look at the trailer at some point.
Yeah. I've heard great things.
Yeah, Logan Marshall Green is his name.
Well, I didn't run into his credits anywhere, so it's
You have to open it up.
all the poorer for him.
Yep. Oh, he was in Devil, about the elevator.
Yeah, didn't watch that one either.
Yeah, Upgrade was the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of shit. I've seen him in a bunch of shit at least.
Making a very brief appearance is Tyne Daly. She was the head of the government group that shut down Michael Keaton's operation at the beginning.
Yep.
She was Cagney and Lacey was like her
Oh.
big thing. Hannibal Buress is the gym teacher.
The coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
pretty funny. I think Hannibal Buress is hilarious. And
Yeah.
I recognize the principal,
Choi.
Kenneth Choi. I recognize him from other stuff. I couldn't tell you what I've seen him in, but I know I've
there's
seen
a running
him.
thing about him and the Marvel stuff. He was in Captain America in the 1940s.
Oh yeah, he's one of
He was
the Howling
those
Commandos.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
And so
Oh.
the running thing about him is that he's
Is he one of the
playing
Warriors
ancestors
3?
of himself, like his own lineage.
Yeah,
Which
he's
I
not
don't
one
know
of
if
the
that's
Warriors
racist,
3.
saying that they all look alike or what.
It is the way you say it.
I mean, it probably wasn't racist till you said it.
Mm.
But yeah, that's really the
Accidents
cast. Let's see. Let's get down to numbers here.
Big bucks. This
Yeah.
motherfucker did great.
$175 million budget. So $175 million budget. Opening weekend made $118 million domestically.
Almost
Yeah.
got its entire thing. Almost.
Yep.
Pretty close. Just on the
Gro-
weekend.
Yeah. Gross, it made $334 million. So it doubled its money.
That's just domestically.
Almost. That's gross domestic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Worldwide gross, it made $880 million.
Yeah.
That's the number I
Almost
saw.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
what happened.
ridiculous.
Why Marvel was like, all right, Sony, we need to figure something out.
Yep.
We need to cooperate on this.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, did you guys like it?
Hell yeah.
I love this movie. I saw it 2, maybe 3 times in the theater. I was so happy to get the Spider-Man I always wanted.
Yeah.
The performance, the story, everything. I got what I wanted. What's up?
I remember watching this, and I think that I had left work early to go
Mhm.
see it because that's how much I wanted to see it.
And it
and
wasn't
dude-
like I'm just a sucker for Spider-Man stories, and I did was like a why again,
Yep.
but there was no trailer that like made me go. I have to see it. I have to like the new Batman. I didn't care.
Yeah, I
To
don't
go
remember
seek it out,
being
I'm
allured
going
by
to
the
watch it.
trailer or anything. Like I can't recall
Yeah.
saying that the trailer's what really drove me in. It looked good. I remember it being like, "Oh yeah, okay, I want to watch it." But
Oh shit! never mind. Civil War is why I was probably excited to see it because that his performance was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his own thing now. So like
Yeah.
as a solo film, like he come off as a character in Civil War as that sidekick or that side, just an extra
Mhm.
character to
Mm-hmm.
throw in there, and it seemed appropriate. But now that we've seen him in solo, how do you think it was for his solo?
I think he did phenomenal as a solo act. Like he had the same comedic sort of beats in there, but like
Mhm.
it was able to be its own movie and have its own sort of, I don't want to say message, but theme, I guess, because this is very much about a kid learning to
It's the coming of
put
age.
away his, yeah,
It's a coming of age.
learning to be an adult and make adult decisions and stuff like that. And it's
But being taken serious as an adult, like because Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr., like he's
Oh,
been giving him his like,
yeah.
oh well, here's some training wheels, as he calls
Yeah.
it.
Because Peter Parker is so bad at being Spider-Man in this movie. He's just trying so hard and he doesn't have it figured out. Fucking 15-year-old, he shouldn't have it figured out.
it's not even being
I
bad.
loved-
He's so sorry.
What? I just had a great time watching him not be a good Spider-Man. Like,
Not figuring, like having it all together.
so to see him come in and be all weird and Civil War, but badass, it made sense of that.
I personally don't think it's that he's bad at being Spider-Man. I
Mhm.
think his problem is that he's so overzealous to
Yeah,
be Spider-Man that
exactly.
he's making dumb mistakes that end up blowing
And
up in his face.
I don't mean he's not good at it yet. He hasn't had his 10,000 hours,
Yeah.
but he's so
Yeah.
eager. He's so eager to get out there and help, and he's just like in people's in their social bubbles, and not asking the right questions.
This is the
And
quintessential.
Donald's character describes that in his scene.
Yeah, you're not good at this, are you?
You've never done this before, have
This
you?
is the first time.
This is the quintessential movie of like a teenager thinking that they're an adult,
Yeah.
but with much higher stakes than a regular movie like this would be.
Absolutely.
This is 15 going on 45.
Yeah. This is like being the president at 15 because you basically have your hands on a nuke the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, the older you get, the more you look back and you go, your younger self was like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. In hindsight, you had no clue. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But at the time, you really believed you did.
It's the arrogance of youth. Like,
so that's where I like the Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark and Peter Parker.
I mean, so many characters are telling him to. So many characters are telling him to like slow down, just do the little bits, do the work, and like learn it. Like even his best friend at one point is like, "You're gonna be a high school dropout."
Yeah,
like and it's just like trying to talk some sense into him, and like obviously Peter doesn't want any fucking any bit of that.
Well, and his remark to that was, it may be true, but he was like, it was like very arrogant and egotistical to say, I'm above this high school thing.
Yeah.
Like he knew that he was meant for better things and he could do better things that had nothing to do with this because he was thinking way too far.
Yeah, he just got really excited.
Yep.
The emotions were running high and all the roller coasting they were turned up to 11. He too young to fucking, he didn't
really
know how to
just
deal
have
with
the you have the the old adage, you got to learn to walk before you run.
Yeah.
And that's the thrust of this movie is he wants to skip walking and go right into full tilt run.
And no matter how many times you tell a child, no matter how smart you are, the fucking kid's always gonna be
they got to figure it out themselves.
Yep. And that's what he did here.
Now, I don't really want to compare necessarily this movie to the other Spider-Mans, but I do want your opinions on Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man and how
duality?
he adapted into that. The Peter Parker, because I mentioned this before about duality. You have the duality of the characters. So in this case, you have Peter Parker and then you have Spider-Man. Now, the Tobey Maguire and then Andrew Garfield, and then I want to talk about this. So how did you feel about the Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and the Spider-Man, the duality of the characters?
Great Spider-Man, bad Peter Parker.
Okay. I personally feel like he's a better Peter Parker and not a very good Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think I lean more towards Tim. I think he's quirky enough. Tobey Maguire is quirky enough to be Peter Parker, not
He was
quippy enough to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's exactly
Because
what I feel.
Spider-Man's really like smart ass and like he's got all these quips, these little one-liners. Toby didn't have that.
That's what I like.
And wasn't able to execute him as well, I should say.
Now, let me emphasize again, I'm not trying to bag on it. For at the time that they had it and all that, it worked. But the comparisons of those characters and the duality. Now,
this is the same shit as like comparing, Bruce Wayne's and Batman's over the years.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the same shit. They're just different areas.
That's part of the fun with comic book characters.
Andrew Garfield.
I didn't watch the first Andrew Garfield one. I saw the second one, didn't watch the first one. So
it's on Netflix now.
Yeah. So I'm probably a bad scale for this one. He gives the same
performance in both movies.
Yeah, they're not.
He's a crybaby mopey Peter Parker and a excellent shit talking Spider-Man.
Okay. I have to agree. I think that Andrew Garfield nailed the emotional marks of the character on both sides. He was just a little bit more in tune with his emotions on that Spider-Man level, because he did a really good cry.
Yeah.
He did a really good cry performance.
The ending of the second, they did the second one. I remember being
parts is that Gwen Stacy. Or whatever. I was like, oh my god.
And I wasn't a big fan of the first one, so I never watched the Amazing Spider-Man 2 until No Way Home, because his performance was so good. I fucking went home and purchased and watched the second one.
The whole ending of Spider-Man 2 was I really enjoyed that. Like, especially when you got the kid like standing there in front of Rhino and he
powerful.
That whole thing was good.
Paul Giamatti though, that Rhino was terrible. That was a terrible Rhino. And Paul Giamatti apparently was like he like, I want to be that. Like, he fought for that role, and I don't think anybody else was fighting him for it.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone told Paul Giamatti that's how the role was going to be until he was contracted. He was like, fuck.
So, Aram, Andrew Garfield,
Andrew Garfield, but I would probably say I liked him as a better. I probably liked him more as Spider-Man than I did. I mean,
because he was a great smartass.
I enjoyed him as both. He just wasn't quirky the same way Tobey Maguire was. Like, he didn't have the nerdiness that was required to be Peter Parker, but I enjoyed the way he played his character.
See, I thought he was just a sad nerd, like uncomfortable around women. It was just, I don't know.
See, and I had an issue with him as Peter Parker. Peter Parker was supposed to be this quirky, nerdy, shy, timid kind of person, right? At least awkward. He was supposed to be very nervous and awkward, socially, especially. Yeah. And Andrew Garfield was edgy. He was way too edgy and rigid.
Yeah, standing up to bullies and protecting. That's not the Peter Parker way.
No, which is what I mean. I liked the way he played the character, but I don't think he was a good Peter Parker.
No,
as much he wasn't nerdy or like quirky enough. But
and he did all right as Spider-Man. I personally didn't care for Andrew Garfield. That is it. I don't think he did a terrible job. I just didn't care for the movies themselves.
And
it wasn't just him. It was just the movies.
I do not blame him.
I think that he was a better Spider-Man. I think Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Now, Tom Holland.
Okay, you swap monster.
So here, this is my take on it. I think Tom Holland is probably the best one so far, because I think that both sides blend so well, because you get the nerdiness, even when he's dressed as Spider-Man, you get all that quirkiness of him, but you still get the one-liners. So like, I think he's blended the characters so well together that I think he's probably made the best showing.
He is a perfect version of a nerdy teenager playing a hero.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I absolutely. There was no separation. You believe that this is one person.
Yeah. I mean,
and even that's why he had a hard time, like,
when he takes the training wheels program off.
The Spider-Man.
When he has the Karen, I think he starts calling his program.
Yeah.
And the interrogation thing, like when he tries to interrogate
Connelly, by the way.
Is it really?
No shit.
Good to see that she's getting work again.
Whoa,
she's been working.
She's very active.
Jennifer Connelly?
Yeah, she's in the new
she's
Maverick
very active.
movie. She's got a show on
Maverick?
HBO,
Oh.
Snowpiercer.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Top
about
Gun.
Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
It's like Maverick. I was like, the Mel Gibson
People
one?
won't shut up about it. So at this point, I'm calling it Maverick, and I haven't even fucking seen it.
Miles
It's
telling
Top Gun
his
2,
rape
God.
stash.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but she's
It
consistent.
looks better without a shirt.
And let's be
hell
I
real.
yeah.
just haven't seen her like really like prevalent lately. So I mean, I guess I just
Yeah.
assumed that fucking the Hulk was the
She
last thing I
doesn't-
saw her in.
She doesn't do our type of movies.
She's letting her husband do all the work right now.
But no, like I think the perfect scene where you get that understanding that he's blending both sides is when he's interrogating Donald Glover, and he takes the interrogation voice off. And he's like,
I know.
I've talked to you, like I was there and heard what you
I
said.
recognize your voice.
I know what a girl sounds like. He's like, I'm a boy. No, wait,
Yeah.
I'm a
I'm a
man.
man.
I'm not a girl. I'm a boy. No, I'm a man.
Yeah.
And then that sad like drop, and it's like turn off
Oh,
interrogation mode. Like it like turns off while he like drops in sadness. His
Yeah.
tone
The
of voice.
his head just
disappointment.
kind of drops.
It was a laugh out
fail.
loud moment. It was fucking funny as hell.
But yeah, I
He
think
had
that's a
the-
perfect showing of like him melding the two sides of himself together in
Yes.
that character.
Yes.
Well, and
and
he
that
had
was the
an
beauty of this.
amazing- The little things. There was the amount of detail that he applied into the character for those small little quirky things that made the world of difference. For example,
Mm.
one of the things that I was so impressed with is when he's sneaking in the house and he's like on the ceiling, right? And so he like lowers his window and then he sneaks in and he uses his foot to
Yeah.
shut the window. I was like, it's just so smooth and
Yep.
such a small little detail I would not have thought about, like,
Right.
and he just keeps moving and then just like shuts the window and he just holds on and he lowers himself down, turns around, and there's Ned.
Or when he goes into the ATM, like when it's being robbed, and like he comes in and he tries to like find the
Yeah,
right
like
stance
his-
to like
his
say hello to the
pose.
bad guys. He's trying to find the right
Hey,
pose. He's
guys.
like,
Yeah.
What are you doing?
See, that's
Yeah.
he doesn't have his 10,000 hours yet, so he's just trying
Yeah.
new things like season 1 on this fucking podcast. He's just fucking just trying to
Wait,
figure it out.
But you still get that Peter
Yeah.
Parker feel with the
Yeah.
because like yeah, absolutely Tom Holland fucking
So yeah,
he's
perfect
nailing it.
Spider-Man. Perfect
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Now, let's talk about the most important thing about this film.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Fuck yeah. I knew that was coming.
How did
Reprising
you
his
like the
Birdman
villain?
role.
So we actually get at least
3 from what
three
I saw.
villains. Yep,
Yeah.
three main villains that we see that we are introduced. Whether or not you know that one of them isn't the point. You have the main villain, who is Michael Keaton's character, who is
Vulture.
Vulture. Now they
Adrian
changed
Toomes
it
is his real name.
drastically from the comics,
Oh
and
God,
I
yes.
think it worked perfect though. I think it still worked great. And
I
then you
never would have thought to make the Vulture a dad gone bad.
right.
Yeah, because in the comics he's this billionaire tech guy who just
he's
kinda
a
loses his
scientist,
mind. Yeah, he like
Yeah.
goes a little bit crazy.
He's trying to stop the aging process or something, isn't he?
I'm glad they changed it
Because he's like an old bald guy.
Yeah, he's old. Like he's supposed to be like in his like 80s or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
feel like
Yeah.
it's like he's trying to stop the aging process because he's like, because he's an old bald guy in the comics.
Yeah, because he gives himself like Oswald did, where he like gives himself some kind of chemical to give him the agility, like that makes him young
Yeah.
and fit and everything. But
Yeah.
then you get Shocker, and you
Yeah.
have 2 versions of a Shocker, and I actually like how they did it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yep, I didn't expect to see the Shocker, but it worked.
No.
They even had the
Yeah.
color scheme, like the original guy
Yeah.
wearing the tunic or whatever with the yellow sleeves and then the red vest. And
That's right. Yeah.
yep, I thought it worked out great. Do you remember now? Who's the third one?
Scorpion.
Scorpion. Yeah.
You don't get that till the little cutscene at the end.
Well,
Yeah.
unless you know anything about the comics, then you see his little tattoo, and that was
Yeah.
that implement that he was Scorpion. And yeah,
Oh, wait,
it
was he on
wasn't
the
until-
boat too?
That was during the boat. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I forget he was on the boat. I
the
remembered him
one
from
that
the
they were
little
selling the
cutscene and
weapons
when they're
to.
in prison. But yeah, I forgot
But the
about the boat.
cutscene is where you really identify. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he like says like,
Just-
"Oh, I got some other friends that like want Adam too," and he's like, "You might know who he is."
Yeah. And that was supposed to be when it came out. That was supposed to be the reveal to Sinister
The
Six.
Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Which are
then
they
that got
still doing that
prolonged.
movie?
Oh, they're trying. They're teasing. They're bringing it back with the Morbius cutscenes.
Okay. Well,
Well, yeah, because I
haven't watched
know
that.
Vulture's in.
They're on
Morbius.
YouTube,
Like
so-
he's
Yeah.
he makes an appearance in Morbius. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So
So yeah, I think that's where they're heading. But anyways,
the one thing about these villains is these are all Spider-Man villains.
yeah,
So Spider-Man's known. He's prolific on the fact that he has a multitude.
He's
Of
got what's known
villains.
as a rogues gallery.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Just so many
right.
villains. And then
That's why
there's a
his
lot
video
of,
games were fun.
yeah,
It's true.
absolutely. Yeah. But that's where you get like a lot of intertwining, especially with Daredevil, because they share the same kind of,
Yeah, they're
Hell's
both in New
Kitchen
York.
and-
Yeah.
yeah, it's like neighbors and stuff. Just whatever.
Overlap.
But how did you like Michael Keaton's performance?
I thought he was great.
Did you think he
I
was
thought he
great
was
because
great.
it's Michael Keaton?
I thought his performance was great. I'm not sure I liked the sudden it may just been because I mean I know they need to do it for the movie, but like the way they made him a villain just seemed way too quick. Like
Yeah.
he's running a salvage crew and then he gets shut down. And he's like, you know what? Keep the stuff we already have and we'll just start selling it in the black market. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're making weapons.
It was cut and dry, very simple, but I like that they made it like part of the cleanup crew for superhero disaster shit.
Yeah.
I thought
what's
the idea behind it because he was they were a salvage crew.
yes,
and they were salvaging Chitauri stuff, and then eventually they'd start salvaging Ultron stuff.
But yeah, they didn't really flesh out his character enough to justify his why would he go out of his way to make these sincere kill your family threats? Like if you fuck with me or mine, I will kill you. I don't know. He seemed greedy.
I thought it was pretty appropriate. I don't think it needed to be fleshed out because they kind of showed it right there. The fact that the government's stepping in and just throwing him to the curb. He had all this money invested. He did all this stuff.
So I guess
this happened because he already had a contract. He was already set. This job was legit. He didn't do anything that he wouldn't have done any other job.
He kind of fought back in spite by doing this criminal shit.
It was out of spite. It was more of like, are you fucking kidding me? This is coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The government's stepping in, and you find out that it's Tony Stark who's influenced. And that was this whole conversation to Peter Parker at the end of the film was kind of that feeling he had right there in the beginning.
Like he's got a grudge to settle.
I personally thought it was a little quick. I would have a little bit more
give a
build
timeline, did they, of how long it was?
Well, it was 8 years.
8 years.
Oh, it was 8 years?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
sense. I don't think
that's quick.
Well, no, but he
how they told the story.
That night they're like, we'll just keep that. We'll start selling it like that night, and then all of a sudden 8 years later, he's got this like empire of alien hardware.
Right.
And that's
exactly.
a long time. I think it should have been 3 years.
The 8 years part didn't bug me. It was just like the fact that he that night after they got shut down, he was like, oh no, we'll start selling shit on the black market.
The world's changing, so do we.
And that just seemed kind of breakneck.
And
that explains his character though. The mentality of, hey, he doesn't fuck around. It's like that. It's like New York almost kind of mentality of, hey, I got shit to do. It's all about money. Not wasting any time. Kind of thing.
But yeah, I was thinking he was just kind of a greedy asshole because, like Aaron said, 8 years later, he's got a fucking empire. He's well off. There's no reason for him to go around threatening people's lives and shit. His business going. He doesn't need more money. If he
murders the first Shocker in such a subdued fashion, but then he's just like, I thought this was the anti-gravity gun. Yeah. And then they're like, no, that's the other one. He's like, oh, okay. And then he just like moves on. It was like, okay, wait a minute.
And that's my only gripe about his character and why I kind of agree. Like they moved too quick for me to really believe, I don't know, that guy would do that shit or why he's doing it. If it's greed or Tim's convinced me it's out of spite and a grudge against,
So what it is, and this is something because I try to do this myself, is it's not having.
How many people have you accidentally killed, Tim?
I can't say that
Whoa.
on the air,
Beep.
but
No.
yeah, it's the idea of he's taking an action, he's gonna do it. There's no regret. So
Okay,
he thinks
I'll give
out,
you
hey,
that.
hey,
I'll go with that.
I'm gonna do this. I can't regret. I move on from it. And it's like a coping mechanism. But I think he's so calculated of hey, these actions, once he's in, he's in. You know, it's like a
I'll give you
mobster
that.
kind of feel. Once
I
you're
can
in, you're
actually,
in.
Right.
I can get behind that.
And that's what I think it is he looks at it as I'm doing this. I'm doing it for my family. There's a justified reason, but
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy. And he says that I'm a bad guy. I'm the worst of them because I have no remorse because I'll do what's necessary and I won't think twice about it. I think that's where they get to believe that he is a bad guy. He's a criminal.
Right.
He's almost a psychopath. He's killed without remorse, no guilt. It was expendable. And that what makes him like fear. Like that's what makes him afraid or people be afraid of him.
Yeah.
You have the kingpin who is the same way. He will do what's necessary, not think twice about it. That's what the villain.
See, that's
side
more
of.
believable because that guy's
And I think
crazy.
that's what they were implying because I saw that when I was watching him. I believe that this guy would do anything for his wife and his daughter, no matter what.
Yeah.
And if it takes him down with him, so be it. He accepts his fate because he accepts the action.
Yeah, but he already did it.
After.
He already did all that, prevailed, and established a fucking great fortune and future for his family. He didn't need to push it this far after 8 years. And I'm glad he did because it was way more entertaining.
But we don't understand.
I just didn't believe it.
If you want to analyze that, we haven't seen the development. It probably didn't progress that far so quick. 8 years is a long time.
Maybe he just entered the best of times and he's afraid of losing it.
And he did say, one last job and I'll be home. So he's reaching that point of maybe multi-millions where he can just go.
Maybe it was just weird for me to hear
my hands.
Hear Michael Keaton be like,
plus he's got to pay for all the stuff. That guy who's building all of his equipment, they still got to pay for certain things. I mean, there's probably a very large amount of expenses.
It's a fucking criminal business. I don't know.
Right. That's what I thought was interesting about like those heist movies, Oh, we're going to spend $1.2 million to make all this stuff to put towards the effort to steal $2 million.
They're in diamond form though, so it's bling bling, baby.
So.
All right, but yeah, nevertheless, Michael Keaton did it great.
I loved Michael Keaton's character. I thought the writing just moved a little quick for me.
Yeah,
I felt that was my only issue.
Yeah, I felt that in small spots.
How did you feel about the teenage love connection? Since that seems to be a common thing that we talk about is love connections in these Marvel films.
When I read that Kevin Feige is quoted in some article stating that he was inspired by John Hughes when he made this movie. He wanted it to have that type of fucking.
I get that.
I didn't know that. So
I felt something familiar with that, all that. So when I read it, I was like, that makes perfect sense. Well done. Once again, Love Fage.
Well done.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think that really works.
Shades of Pretty in Pink. I think some of that, and probably some kind of Wonderful too. Mixture of the two.
Okay. Now that I know that, I can't unthink that. Like,
I was just saying, I'm definitely making the connections now.
It works. I personally, I had a hard time with the love. I don't know, love connection, love story, whatever. I also liked it at the same time. And now thinking of John Hughes, it makes perfect sense. You're not supposed to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be awkward, uncomfortable.
And that's what I'm like, okay, it makes sense now.
You're supposed to feel like the third wheel or some shit. I don't know.
It was very it's young love.
But I was very never invested. Like even the first time I saw it, I knew this shit wasn't the real deal.
Yeah,
it's always MJ. It's always MJ. And before, sure.
Obviously we understand that now. I mean, anybody who knows anything about Spider-Man knows that that's not his real love interest.
And I was like, hell yeah, Peter.
But I like how they did that. I like that they showed that
Yeah.
he had a crush that wasn't MJ.
Yeah.
You know,
So he
all
could
we
get.
knew was MJ in the comics. So
Oh yeah, he had to act a fool before he could
yeah,
hit
between
on MJ
was it
correctly.
Gwen Stacy
Yeah.
and MJ, and then the cat lady, Black Cat,
Mm.
Felicia Hardy.
Felicia.
That's her name. Is Felicia Hardy.
Yeah. So those are his three like love interests,
Yeah.
and it's kind of nice to see that he liked somebody else before. He wasn't
Mhm.
just creepily obsessed, staring out the window that's like 5 feet away.
He did that in the cafeteria.
No, they were like 20 feet away, and MJ was over there making fun of him.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. She was it was good. I really
yeah,
like
I did like-
Zendaya's performance. Oh, sorry. What, you
No,
liked
I
what?
was just gonna say I did like that cafeteria part. Oh, we should stop
Yeah.
doing this before it becomes creepy. Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zendaya, you liked her performance?
I love
Yeah.
her as an actor. For all,
Actress.
I don't know. She's so Oh, you old school.
Old school.
Yeah, she's just so fucking. You can't say actress no more. You gotta say actor. Just kidding.
Okay.
Fucking-
Refuse. Stubbornly refuse to do that.
See, old man, new tricks.
Maybe if you're Elliot Page.
That's the trick you picked up.
Yeah, because I'm a good listener. All right, but anyways, that lady, she's great in everything. She is a skilled motherfucker, and I believe everything I've ever seen her do. So yeah, she was funny as fuck in this movie and subtle, and I like how they introduced her character subtly
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
I liked her too. I liked her quirky weirdness.
Yeah,
Her definitely her outlier sort of attitude. Like, oh, they're going to get into some light protesting before.
like
Yeah.
when Peter Parker quit some classes or extra things he was in, and no, he quit the debate club or whatever the fuck.
yeah,
and
the
then-
decathlon, the academic decathlon.
And then she just chimes in like, yeah, and he also quit these 2 other fucking classes.
I'm not
People
obsessed. I'm
outside-
just very observant.
Yeah. That shit's funny.
Oh, it's like, why are you in detention?
Oh
You
yeah.
don't belong. I just
Oh,
like to come here and draw people in crisis.
You know, see, this
Hell
is
yeah.
you.
See, and
I
that
did
character,
I did like
Fuck
the
people
Washington
up.
Monument part too.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go up? Oh, I don't want to,
yeah,
celebrate something that was built by slaves. I think it was built by slaves. And he looked back. He was like, okay.
Yep.
but then like a guard or something like that confirm it.
Yeah. He's like, "Eh."
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
liked her. I liked her.
she
How'd you
had a
feel about
small
Ned,
role.
the best friend?
Oh, he is funny. Like
He's a great
chair guy.
character. Guy in the
He's
chair.
got to have a chair guy. Yeah.
I don't know. I like the way he was funny and how he involved himself.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times he kept
He-
saying guy in the chair, and I kept thinking of Professor X for no reason.
Me too. Me too. I thought that too. It's like, oh, I could be the guy in the chair.
I was like,
Yeah,
Professor X, you're not a psychic.
Professor X. Yeah. I thought the same thing. So don't worry. But yeah, I agree. I think I love that Ned implements himself in Peter's life.
Yeah, he invited
straight
himself
up.
to his party.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter knows Spider-Man. What
And
are
it
you
worked
doing?
And it worked out in the end. Like,
Oh, most people can wear hats and most people can't. You're pulling it off. Yeah, it gives me confidence.
You're definitely
This hat's
wearing
not
that
giving
hat.
me confidence.
This was a terrible mistake. This hat is not cool.
yeah.
So, yeah, he's funny, quirky. This movie is all about awkwardness, and they pull it off so well.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because the director, what's his name again?
John Watts.
John Watts. He was born in 1981, so he's basically a kid. Not anymore, but you know what I mean. Like,
I'm gonna say I was born in '84, so I don't. What are you talking about?
my point is, like, he's young enough where he has that.
He called us young.
I still feel young. He's around our age.
You're only as old as you feel, and I must be 137.
Sorry to interrupt your point, Tim. Did you forget it?
No, my point is that he's around our age. So, like, I get the references from, like, because
Yeah.
it had a very 90s feel.
Sure.
And it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. Like, it didn't feel like a today's, like a 2000s high school film. This had a lot of essence of a earlier generation. And knowing now that John Hughes was a huge part of that influence,
Right.
totally makes sense.
Mhm.
Like I said, it perfectly makes sense. It's
Mhm.
somebody who watched John Hughes, but yet it's somebody who grew up in the 90s watching the 90s high school shit. Even the animation at the end
Yeah.
during the credits, totally 90s. It was
Yeah.
a total
Oh,
90s
for
thing.
sure.
It's something you see in like Biodome or some shit like that.
And the music choices in this film were perfect for to bring you into the vibe of the scene or sequence. Like
Yeah.
the beginning song was crooks or bad guy stuff. So it was like da 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 da. That was like shit and blow. When I don't know. It's the shut up. So
Oh, it's super deep.
yeah,
The music did fit. Yeah. I have to
it
agree
fit
with the
right.
music.
It was
I
scored
mean,
very well.
Even the
yeah.
last song in the credits,
And they're all-
Blitzker Pop or Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Ramones. Yeah, that was
Like
in
the
there.
Ramones?
Yeah, and that's the first time that song also plays the first time you see him play around as Spider-Man and
Yeah.
just getting everybody's social bubble and prevent a guy from breaking into his own car because he locked his keys in there.
I do like the Dominican lady that buys him a churro.
Yeah,
Why don't I
yeah.
tell him about the churro.
Why I tell him? Yeah. Yeah, his
no, it was good.
But
Also,
what was
we
really
find out
cool
that
about
he's-
that,
What?
that was really cool about those little reports that he's giving Happy is that you find
Yeah.
out that Tony's reading all of them because he
Yeah.
references
Happy
the lady
hasn't.
that buys him a churro.
Yeah, Happy
And-
doesn't. He's just like,
No,
I
Happy
don't
finds
know,
it
but-
annoying.
but-
yeah.
yeah.
And it sells that duality perfection we were talking about, how it's just the same with
It's
or
just-
without the mask.
It's the mentor thing. It's that Tony Stark, is taking his mentorship, even though it's not a role he put it on himself, but it's not a role that he's like blatantly
Equipped for?
Oh, that's true too. At least emotionally,
Mm.
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
they're growing together. Kind of thing. He's learning
Mhm.
how to be a father without actually trying to be a father.
Right.
Mhm.
Even
This is
makes
the
him go,
equivalent of
"God,
getting
I
a
sound like
puppy.
my dad now."
Yeah, he was kind of
So-
proud of himself for a little bit when he said
Yeah.
that.
Shit, I was gonna say something about
Um,
something. No, I don't remember.
What do we think about the ending?
Like the very, very ending, or like the end credits
I'm talking
scene?
about like the fight scene and the
With the plane?
ensuing stuff afterwards. Like I'll talk about just the fight scene because the plane stuff was cool, but like
Yeah.
there's the building falling on him is important because he makes that crucial kind of like he crosses that threshold into like being mature about it, I guess, in a life and death situation. But
oh yeah. His man up
Yeah.
Peter
So-
moment was
when you get knocked down,
It was
you gotta
good.
get back up again.
he starts to understand that it's not about like, if you don't have this, he remembers Tony saying, if you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have the suit.
right.
Like,
which
and
is a
he-
very prevalent line, knowing what happened to Tony previously.
Oh yeah. He,
So
yeah.
that was him learning from his mistakes, and now he's just trying to pass
Yep.
it on.
exactly. And
But
that's
like
when you get
said,
the,
and it's
you know,
great
you talk to any
advice.
teenager, they're not going to listen. They're just going to have to figure it out for
Yeah, they've
themselves.
gotta
And this
listen.
is
Yeah,
him
you have-
figuring it out for
You have to
himself.
take away what they love the most in order to get them to fucking pay attention.
Yep. And in this case, it was the suit. He felt like that was his
Yeah.
identity, but it's not. It's who he is. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it's
it
not
was
the
a-
suit that defines the hero. It's the hero that defines the hero or
Yeah.
defines
Yeah,
the suit,
so-
I guess should be the
so-
right way to say
So yeah, when he stepped up and put on his sweatpants again and went back at it,
Yeah.
it was fucking awesome. The emotional
was-
shit in this movie was set up and landed so fucking well
And you know what really makes
thought
it,
out.
I think that what helps with that is Tom Holland, who, I mean, he's a really excellent actor, but he's also a kid still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's he like 22?
Oh, dude.
well,
Yeah.
now he's like 26 or something, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
but-
Where he's like
So
22
at the
in this
time he
movie.
he
did
was
this,
so
yeah.
believable as a 15-year-old
Yeah.
fanboying out around Tony Stark and shit.
He's tiny. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
tiny. Just a little guy. Although he's in better shape than I've ever been, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he can do them backflips just for real.
with ease.
Yeah, like standing on the street, just do a backup or a backflip. Yeah.
Just do a backup.
Yeah, but he probably
He did that in
back,
Civil War.
back it up.
the back
Uh,
and forth.
His emotional point, though, when he was buried and he was like panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally believable. The way he
Exactly.
was.
Oh, God,
he was
yes.
like it felt
Not-
like he was really panicking.
Not a
Yeah.
piece of cheese in that scene. I loved it.
No, but I believed
that-
100% that he was
Yep.
like he was
That
actually
was-
freaking out.
That was probably the
Mhm.
most well acted section of the movie.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I think it was. I agree. How did you like the reveal?
Of him or Vulture being
Oh,
what's her face's dad.
him answering the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Liz.
I guess there's two reveals I want to touch base. That because that leads
Okay.
into the next one. How did you, what
I
did you
thought
think
it
about
was.
that when he opened up the door?
I thought it was actually very well done.
I
I
liked
thought that
it.
was actually a nice twist. That was how we found out who the vulture was.
It wasn't like a oh snap moment, but it was like a nice,
I
well
think
done
it was
movie.
more of like, oh, that's how I felt when I first saw it in theaters. I'm like, oh, it wasn't like an oh snap. It was more of like, oh,
yeah, it's
that's
just
a
like
big kick in
ooh,
the gut.
that's
You know what I
the
mean?
right
Like, oh,
choice.
shit.
This is terrible. This
Yeah,
is terrible.
that's how I felt,
I've
like,
gotta
oh,
go.
shit.
I've gotta go.
Oh, yep.
Just that you
He's
can
in
and you
for
can
it.
see it in his eyes, the freak out. Like that
Yeah.
he
Oh,
completely
yeah.
Plus, he's
cages, but
getting
like
that-
it's just in his eyes.
Yeah,
Just
is
that
trying
very
to-
little
and
minimal
I'll-
things and short
and
answers.
him trying to
his
hide
just-
it as well.
Oh, is that a corsage? And he just like jams it into her stomach because he won't take his eyes off of her father.
He was also playing the dad role, and it worked with the answers. Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah.
don't drink. Too young
Yeah.
or whatever. Good answer.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
was
oh
that was
wow, oh
funny.
wow, you're beautiful. It's like, oh yeah, you look great. Another good answer.
Yep.
But it was also the music that really helped because there's this silence.
Yeah.
The lack of, I think, really does everything. You feel the tension. There's nothing that's forcing the tension. You just
Yeah.
feel it.
It's just those and like
Oh yeah,
and I mean at that point I don't
and
think
those performances. Sorry.
And well, I was gonna say at that point, I don't think Vulture or Keaton knows that he's Spider-Man. He's just greeting him. He's just looking at him as a kid coming
Just
to
a
take his
kid.
daughter out. He
Yep.
doesn't figure it out till he's in the car.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was the reveal I first wanted to
But-
talk about. Then you mentioned the reveal that he was a dad, so that led into it. So the
Yeah.
reveal that Keaton finds out, or Vulture finds out that he's Spider-Man, he's calculating it. He figures out in the car, which is probably like a 10-minute drive,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he figures out all that information, like
Yeah.
in that car ride. How did you feel about that? Where he just all of a sudden he reveals the reveal.
That is probably Keaton at his most nefarious in the whole movie. I think he's probably the scariest he is in that whole in
Yeah.
that section.
Which is the best time to be the scariest because when you're 15-year-old meeting the dad of a girl you're into, that's some scary fucking shit on its own.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so to add,
that's
add
what I
on
wanted
top
to
of
bring
that with
up.
all this, yeah, it was good.
That's what I wanted to bring up because there's so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like so much. If you were to put yourself in Peter Parker's position as a 15-year-old kid, also a superhero, having an identity thing, and meeting the dad, being all nervous, all
The Avengers in the back of your mind all day and night. You can't
Right.
sleep.
that's
Yeah.
probably the
Yeah.
most terrifying scene, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it
is
was
in that car.
you can't take your eyes off that scene as soon as it starts. Like it's just
Mhm.
fucking captivating and I don't know, perfect.
It just
sure.
nailed it.
They
Yeah,
fucking
nailed
got it. Well done, John Watson, writers. I don't care if it took 24 of you. Awesome.
it. They hit it. They hit it. And the
Mhm.
fact that he just leans over without even saying anything, like, "Oh, you're Spider-Man," just leans over with a gun in his hands, like, "Does she know?
Yeah.
Know what?"
Yeah.
It's like, good. I'd like to keep it that way.
I like the way he just goes, I want you to go in there, show my daughter a good time, but not too much of a good time.
Yeah, still playing dad.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
he's still
and
being the
he-
bad guy?
And he gives him like he doesn't do anything because he's like, you saved her once, so I'm gonna let you slide or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, you saved her life, so I just saved your life. Now, what do you say?
Yeah, I could remember the line.
When
It
Peter
just
said
shows-
thank you, I was just like, that's funny.
It shows that
you're
he's
welcome.
dad first and bad
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
second.
He knows where he knows where his lines are.
Yeah, oh man, Michael Keaton. It was a phenomenal, well written role, and
Yeah.
I could not imagine anybody doing it better than Keaton. I've seen
Oh,
Keaton
for
play
sure.
a bad guy in RoboCop. Terrible bad guy. He was probably the only good thing about it, but it was like a terrible bad guy. Not that he did bad. It was just
It was poorly written.
yeah, it was just the way it was written. But this fucking great. It's all over the place with him, but you know where he stands.
Mhm.
So, you guys have anything else you want to say about this?
What's the connectivity in the Marvel universe with this movie? Just it's an introduction movie. Or no, we had an introduction in
No, we
Civil
got an
War.
introduction. So
This
this is
isn't
after Civil War.
yeah. So
So-
it's like an origin
Yeah.
setup. It's not the whole
It's
story.
basically-
I'll tell you that.
You
This
do
is-
find out that he's been bitten by a spider. Once
Yeah.
again, they didn't beat
Yep.
the dead horse. They didn't
Right.
just sit there and beat the dead horse. They kind of
Yep.
did a quick blip. They touched base on it and they moved
Which-
on.
Perfect.
Yeah, his
We
friend's
didn't
like,
need
could
it.
I be bit by a spider? Would it
Yeah.
hurt? He's like, it's dead.
Yeah. Spider's dead, Ned. But it's pretty much been 6 months, right?
Since
Since he was like bit. And I think
Okay,
he
Yeah,
heard
because
that
he's still coming
in-
into his own as a quote unquote
Yeah.
hero. Like
Yeah.
he's still like even in Civil War, like I think they mentioned that or whatever. That like he had been only going around for a little bit, so he's still figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And that's another coming of age version to this.
Mhm.
Like it's Spider-Man becoming what we know Spider-Man to be.
right.
Mhm.
Like that's the point of
Yeah,
this.
it was hard to think of the word man when it was Spider Boy all movie long.
Right.
Yeah. It really, yeah. Especially a
A
good
boy
way.
attempting to be a man.
So
Just a muppet of a man.
Yeah,
I
there
really
was-
loved what?
nope.
I really did enjoy the trip out to the Avengers compound where like Tony's like, I'm gonna make you an Avenger. There's
Yeah.
50 reporters on the other side. When you got the suit on, we'll go take this over. And like, and he turns him down. And the
Mhm.
way Tony plays it off, it's like, oh, no problem. And like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter's
Yeah.
like, that was a test, right? He's like, yep, you passed.
Well,
Yep,
even
he
like
does.
he's like
He did a very mature thing right there.
right.
Yeah, you
Tony's-
surprised the hell out of both of us.
Yeah, just like the quick answer on the second. He's like, one more chance. I'm gonna ask you. Do you want it? Nope. He just says no right away. I just like
Nope.
it.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that fast paced cut, get to the point. Like I can see why their father son dynamic is
yeah,
between the characters just kind of naturally happen. They're like one and the same or whatever. They're
Yeah.
geniuses and they got, you know,
Tony Stark does a really good job at playing this surrogate father who
There it is.
has no idea what he's doing.
yeah.
he's the classic trope of like, I'm a surrogate dad, but I've never been a dad before, so I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going
He's
to
still
make
a kid
mistakes.
playing a dad.
Yeah, it's that classic. It's another 80s trope, like
Yeah.
80s and 90s trope. Like you had plenty of those movies where like someone immature has to all of a sudden become mature to handle all these kids.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
it's
that
really
actually
it's
works
another
very
trope
well.
that's working itself in.
Hell yeah. And then yeah, it sets up emotional stuff for future movies.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
the
and
connectivity.
we get to see more of them too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Much more of them actually.
Did you guys have a
it
favorite
gets
scene?
so good. I really enjoyed the whole getting to know Karen in his suit, like how the movie just kind of
When
put
he's stuck
itself
in the
on.
vault.
Yeah, how that happened, and like Karen, how long has it been? It's been 37 minutes. That shit cracks me up
What?
every time.
When he's just like
I can't
testing the
stand
different
this
kinds of
anymore.
webs.
yeah, bouncing the ball, just getting to know the suit, talking out his emotions about high school and all this shit.
He does the same
So-
thing that Peter does, or that Tony does. Like he talks to the computer to
Yeah.
work out whatever kinks he's do, because that's the way Tony treats Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, he does. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was Tony who built the.
And it was
Well, yeah,
suit.
but I mean, like you
Makes
just see the
sense.
similarities between Peter and Tony. Like,
How do you like about that? Like the other times we don't get that kind of suit. How do you like this new suit, this new version of Spider-Man outfit?
oh, it's it makes so much sense for the time with the technology of the times, and yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which we've established that Tony Stark can make regular cell phones into smartphones. It definitely makes sense that
So of course
he
he can
could
make
build it.
576 web options.
right.
And yet
And program a training
Pepper,
wheels up
Pepper still
protocol.
doesn't have a smartphone.
Or a
She's got
suit.
the flip phone.
Her suit hasn't been developed yet either.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that
Yeah.
at some point. Sure.
I think this suit was one of those things where I didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just
With the
happened.
way
I
he's
Well, this is
with the way
cool.
he's introduced
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Civil War, and the fact that like Tony upgrades him, like yeah, of course you would expect all these like neat things in it, and so that Tony
Mhm.
puts all the bells and whistles in every suit he has.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
makes.
and the jokes
Also,
with
it was the eyes too. They really
yep.
it's
Yeah,
like they
they contract
explain the
them.
eyes. And zooms in, it gets
And then
bigger,
even-
whatever.
Yeah, the jokes with like instant kill mode or whatever.
Yeah.
and,
It's like, it's
Like,
disabled.
I think the
What
eyes
is
got
with
all-
you and the instant kill.
right? Yeah, that shit was fun.
Yep.
So that was my favorite scene was when he got to know the suit in that place he was trapped in.
That is a good one. I do like that.
And it was a great
Yeah.
way to get to know some information about him in the movie without him having a cheesy conversation with other people. It was awesome.
I agree. I like that one. Aram, did you have one?
I think that the Washington Monument is probably one of my favorites. Like the whole Washington Monument scenario, like the way he's talking to Karen, the way he's trying to get in, the way the characters in the
Yeah.
elevator, like with Flash grabbing the trophy at the same time, people are like, forget the trophy.
Martin
right.
Starr. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he falls, Spider-Man falls, and Martin's like,
Yeah.
"Thank you."
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought that whole
"Do you
bit
know
was
Peter Parker.
yeah, is Peter Parker really your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one was just a great mix of action and suspense and comedy all together and like these blips. And I thought it was really well done. I like that part.
Yeah.
Right on. I honestly think that my favorite part has to be. It really does have to be the whole when you find out about Vulture being the dad. Basically,
Yeah.
that entire point where you from that house to the reveal, I think it was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part. The whole car scene in the prom and all that.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Just because it was so fucking intimidating. Like it was so, I was so sweaty with like nerves. Like I felt bad for him. Like so.
Um.
Yeah.
What do you? Is this movie in your top 5 of Marvel movies? It is for me.
Yeah. I would.
I mean,
have to put this.
up until now, as we you know,
Yeah.
the movies we've seen on this podcast.
I will put this right next to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Fucking right.
I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
this movie. I really did. I thought it was
I'll
a
put it-
perfect Spider-Man. I thought it was well written. Everything
It was
about it was
funny.
just spot on. So
It was action packed. Yeah.
So yeah, I have to agree. I think that it would go Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man Homecoming, or at least right now, and then Thor.
Right on.
I would put it. I don't think.
Oh, cord problems are back.
Oh my goodness.
Did it stop recording?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be gone for a second.
All right.
Jason, what about you?
I'm gonna go Iron Man, Spider-Man, Homecoming, and Guardians Volume 1.
In that order?
Yeah.
So you think that you still like Iron Man over Guardians?
Iron Man's the perfect fucking story. Anything else that's as good as it just got it from Iron Man. Get out of here.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stubborn.
Aram?
I would probably put it in the top 5, but I definitely wouldn't call it like my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely put it somewhere in the top 5.
Hello.
Liam says hi. Go on, buddy.
I would say hi, but he can't hear us. So what up, kid?
It's true. But yeah, I would definitely call it one of the top 5 for sure. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm trying to think of what my favorites would be. I'd probably lean towards Captain America. I think Civil War is probably one of my favorites. It's kind of, I don't know why I'm a Captain America fan. And I think that one just has a lot of stakes to it.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy the Captain America video about patience?
Yeah. The whole, the fact that he had that was his cameos, was that he was doing PSAs.
Yeah.
I
think he was talking about puberty. Like, trust me, your body's about to change, and trust me, I know about that. Like, what the fuck? I heard that.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't he doesn't turn the video off in time.
Yeah.
And he moves into the puberty conversation. Like, and you see Hannibal Buress like run over and like hit the VCR.
That shit's
Also,
hilarious.
he's like, my friend gym teacher here, and he's pointing this way when he's over here.
Yeah.
I loved Hannibal Buress when he first introduced, like, we're supposed to watch these, and I'm pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now, but whatever.
But hey, this is
it's mandatory by the state,
right? The procedure hasn't changed yet,
right?
So how many Spidey webs do you give this movie?
Give it 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
I'll go 5.
Okay.
I got it.
I have to go 4.5.
It's hard to call it something perfect. I'm sorry. I'm not saying this movie isn't dope.
I don't know.
but,
Just because
like,
it's 5 stars, I mean it's perfect. But
No,
I don't know.
but it has
I
it's
mean,
a
I
perfect
guess
reflective of how
technically,
we feel about it. That's all. Like,
yeah. I just
there are films
Right.
like Princess Bride gives a 5.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I said it's hard. I didn't say it was impossible.
But yeah, I say that this film, for the most part, like, yeah, I would have to give it a 4.5 for sure. Like, easily solid 4.5.
yeah. This shit's a great movie, and they only get, or the third one gets better. Anyways, next
Yeah, I think I've
week
only watched
is
this-
Ragnarok. What?
I think I've watched the second one only once, so I'm looking forward to watching the next.
I've seen it
movie.
once in the theaters, and then once after I saw No Way Home, just because I was in that mood. But yeah, it's
I
not
watched
terrible, but yeah.
I watched it once, and I have not seen No Way Home yet. So when we do No Way Home, it's gonna be all fresh for me.
Nice.
Don't wait that long for No Way Home. It's
Okay.
on Vudu. Watch it
true.
tonight. It
You-
is such a good fucking movie.
It is. You're gonna want to watch it again.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
It was great.
I'll watch it.
But yeah, I can't wait to talk. I can't wait till we get to that point.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that's gonna be next year.
Right? Yeah, we have to wait because of Tim's organization issues. Everything has to be in order.
right.
Watch the episode fresh. You'll understand what I'm talking about when you see how happy Tim gets about the goddamn freezer.
Everything was labeled. It was so nice. It was
See,
clean.
there it is. Look at him. You can't help it. I'm
Smiles
just
is
They had a
genuine.
spot for everything. Like, oh, it's a beautiful thing.
kidding. Hell yeah. We're going in order here, folks.
All right. Well, that has been Spider-Man:
Homecoming. Homecoming.
Yeah.
Homecoming. And
Homecoming.
yeah, I can't wait to talk about the other ones. So
Hell yeah.
next week we will talk about or at least the next
Ragnarok.
Marvel
Thor.
film that we're going to be talking about is Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Thor's Ragnarok.
Thor
I'm
3.
super excited to talk about that one too.
Did you just call it Thor's Ragnarok?
Thor's Ragnarok. It's
That's
That
amazing.
sounds like that sounds
That's
dirtier
that-
than you meant
That's amazing. I loved it.
it.
So, all right. This has
Thor's
been
Ragnarok was
BB Banter Bros
homecoming
goes
in.
to the movies, and we will catch you later.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Spider-Web.
Okay.
Hurt feelings make me laugh.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to check us out. Jason, where can we be heard?
I don't know, Tim. Where can we be
Well,
heard?
let me tell you where we can be heard. You can find us on all the other platforms that you find podcasts, like iTunes and Amazon Music,
All them places you find all your favorite and popular podcasts.
Spotify.
That's where I listen to podcasts, and nowadays you can rate your podcast on there. Go ahead and give us 5 stars on Spotify or any other platform you listen to your favorite podcast on.
And Spotify.
If you want to watch us, you can find us on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, give it a share, you got a comment, all the algorithm stuff. It helps.
And if you want to comment on how bad and terrible we are doing or how ugly we look, just send us an email at bnbbanterbros@gmail.com.
And that's A-N-D, you said, between the B's?
A-N-D in between the B. You can also check us out on the multiple social platforms that consume everybody's life, like the YouTube, the Twitch, the Twitter, the TikTokity, and the Instagrammy, including Facebook. So please, come check us out. We'll catch you next time.
Okay.